Hello, dear learners, listeners, and viewers. Welcome to English Basics with Rajib Kumar, presented by AOB News and Media in association with Orient Tuition Center. Now we would like to talk about do and does. So it's very important. Do or does a ব্যবহার, use of do and does. The learners look at the board. If it is third person singular, we will use does. If the subject is third person plural, we will use do. So you have learned it before. What is third person singular number? You know, without first and second person, everything in the world is called third person. So যখন আমরা দেখবো সাবজেক্টটি থার্ড পারসন সিঙ্গুলার তখন আমরা কি ইউজ করব ডাস, আর যখন দেখবো থার্ড পারসন প্লুরাল তখন আমরা ইউজ করব ডু। নাও লুক অ্যাট নেক্সট আইটেমস, নেক্সট pronoun. In the case of the pronouns, how we will use do and does. I do, we do, you do, he or she does, they do, it does. Look at the board once again. I subject I হলে আমরা ইউজ করব do, সাবজেক্টে যদি we হয় তাহলে আমরা ইউজ করব do, সাবজেক্ট যদি you হয় তাহলে ইউজ করব do, আর সাবজেক্টে যদি he বা she হয় তাহলে ইউজ করব does, সাবজেক্ট যদি they হয় তাহলে ইউজ করব কি do, এবং সাবজেক্ট যদি it হয় তাহলে আমরা ইউজ করব does. Okay, now let's learn about the use of am, is, are. How we will use am, is, are? If the subject is third person singular, third person singular, we will use is, and if the subject is third person plural, we will use are. Then I am, we are, then you are, next he or she we will use is, next they, in the case of they it will be are, next it we will use is. The learners look at the board once again. If the subject is third person singular, we will use is, and if the subject is third person plural, we will use are. Next I am, we are, you are, he or she is, they are, it is. So the viewers, you have learned about the use of do, does, and am, is, or are. Next we will learn about the use of have or has. So look at the board. Use of have or has. If the subject is third person singular, we will use a has, and if the subject is third person plural, we will use have. Next, I. In the case of I, we have to use have, we, have, you, have, he or she, has, they, have, it, has. The learners, if I understand well about the use of have or has, so look at the board once again. If the subject is third person singular, we will use has. If the subject is third person plural, we will use have. Next, in the case of I, we have to write have, we, have, you, have, he or she, has, they, have, and it, has. So, it's the use of emissary, do, does, or have and has. The learners, we can use another auxiliary verb, that is had. You know that had is used both in singular and plural. So if the subject is singular, you have to use had. Again, if the subject is plural, we can use the verb had. And in the case of did, we have to use the same thing, that is, if the subject is singular, we have to use did, and if the subject is plural, we have to use did also. That's why you can understand properly, did is used both in singular and plural subject. I would like to talk about person. So let's get started. Look at the board. Person. The learners, you know there are three persons, three types of person, that is first person, second person and third person. So the learners, look at the board once again. I means Ami, and we means Amra. So the learners, this two pronoun I and we are called as first person. Now look at the board. You means tumi ba tomra. So you is called second person, and what is third person? You know, everything in the world without first and second person is called third person. As for example, we can say bird. So it's third person. Bird. You know, third person is classified into when we will see a single word, it will be called as first person. The learners, for your better understanding, I am explaining in Bangla. বার্ড অর্থ পাখি, অর্থাৎ এখানে একটি পাখি যখন বোঝাবে এটা থার্ড পারসন সিঙ্গুলার। নেক্সট BIRDS, বার্ডস মিন্স পাখিরা। সো this is about all about today's lesson. So thanks very much.